Hi, this is Tim Santoni and welcome to Background Checks Demystified. On this show, we like to talk about background screening, the industry, and general myths that surround background checks as a whole. Today we're talking about how a background screening company is much more than a database provider. Coming up. So today we want to talk about how an employment background screening company is much more than a database provider, how they're much more than just a point-and-click online tool to give you information about running a background check. So I want to talk today about the differences when you're making the assessment of making a selection between a database provider like an online tool that you point and click with no support versus a background screening company that has access to a portal to give you access for both you and your applicants as well as your team, and also a way to manage those records and compliance. So here are some of the differences. So first off, an employment background screening company will be able to provide you with compliant authorization disclosure forms, whether that's in paper copy or electronic or otherwise, to keep you in compliance as you look to get disclosures and authorizations from your applicants to compliant background screening. A background screening company will also have access to the best and most robust commercial database providers, whether that's a national criminal product or county criminal products. The key thing here is the filters that are used on those data providers that give you the best and most robust records that can be either pared down or expanded upon depending on the name and or the location where the information is being provided. Another key difference between a database provider and an employment background screening company is an employment background screening company will have access to on-the-ground county-level court researchers in those areas where electronic records are not available. These researchers understand the system of record in these counties and will conduct physical searches and review of the data and input them into the employment background screening company's portal or software system for the best and most accurate and up-to-date records. A background screening company will also have trained researchers who understand how to review, interpret, and report records found in national criminal reports, county criminal reports, civil searches, driving records, and other data that is procured in the process of conducting that background check. These people understand the system of record, can look for three-point match, name, middle name, last name, date of birth, address history, driver's license, any and all records that are found. These researchers understand how to do that. Where with a background screening database provider, the data is what it is, and if the records are not correct, you get what you get. There's no review. It's simply going to be whatever is found in that database is provided to you as the client. Another key differentiation between a background screening database and an employment background screening company would be the adjudication experts that are on staff with a background screening company. These are the people that are trained in the state and federal rules, FCRA and state rules that govern what can be reported. For instance, in the state of California, convictions only going back 7 years. In other states, it's 10 years convictions only. In some states, it's arrest records if the position the person will be working, the salary is greater than $75,000 as an example. A background screening database is not going to have the ability to conduct that type of adjudication because they don't have enough information to make that assessment. So you're left with the records as they are, and you as the employer or the HR professional or business owner are left with making that adjudication and reporting decision as to whether or not these records can be used and reported and used in the process of making your hiring decision. A background screening company will also help with pre-adverse and adverse action notices in the event that you need to take action based on the information found in the report. They can also help you with ban-the-box regulations in those states and counties affected to help you understand the nature and severity of the crime, how long it's been since it elapsed, and how it applies to the position that you're hiring for, which is another key thing you will not get with the background screening database or online provider. And lastly, another reason why an employment background screening company is different than a background database provider is the fact that the applicant or the tenant is entitled to a consumer copy, and a background screening company will give you and the applicant access to that in a compliant and speedy way. So if there's anything that comes up on the report that they have a question about, their employment background screening company can be contacted. There can be a reinvestigation if there's some discrepancy or the applicant argues that the record is not reportable. So I hope you found these things interesting. Today we were talking about how a background screening company is different than a database provider, an online click tool that you would use. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and we look forward to connecting with you very soon. Thanks.